the park is closed today.
The VA has said that they will be unable to process payments for 1 November, when most of my bills come due.
What does that mean to you? What happens?
I go broke.
Those soul-crushing flight delays that might have hampered your travel this summer and last year, get ready for potentially more of them. Your food and water might be vulnerable to safety lapses. Those are among the potential disruptions to our lives that could occur if the Congress can't agree to extend the funding of the government, and we face a government shutdown by midnight on September 30th.
Don't think for 1 minute that it don't affect your community, that it don't affect your church, that it don't affect your city, your municipality. It affects all of America.
First to feel the pinch, almost all of the country's 3.5 million federal workers going without pay, including active duty military and much of federal law enforcement. Some essential workers will have to work anyway without pay, like air traffic controllers and TSA officers at airports. If they're working, why could there still be flight delays?
When you don't have money to put gas in your car to come to work, when you don't have money for public transit, that could cause delays at the airport because these guys are going to call in because they can't get to work.
And a shutdown would delay the training for badly needed, newly hired air traffic controllers.
Even a shutdown lasting a few weeks could set us back by months or more because of how complex that training is.
How would the rest of us feel it? National parks likely closed, food stamps in jeopardy, as well as passport processing and disaster funding for places like Hawaii and Florida. Even thousands of preschool kids could be shut out.
Head Start is losing funding. That means a lot of preschools may be temporarily shutting down, and the families that rely on them will be affected.
Our daily sustenance would be affected, analysts say, because FDA and EPA inspectors wouldn't be working during a government shutdown.
You'll see fewer food safety inspections. You'll see a pause in inspections of drinking water facilities.
Social Security and Medicare payments won't be stopped, but service?
A person come and want to apply for a new claim, that won't happen. A person have an issue with their benefits, they have no one to call, no one to talk to.
The broader economy would take a hit, experts say, because things like permitting for construction projects and loan approvals for farms and small businesses could be paused.
A government shutdown is just yet another drag on the economy because it ends up disrupting lots of supply chains and lots of services that people and businesses rely on them to keep other parts of the economy running.
What should the average American do to prepare for a possible shutdown? Analyst Catherine Rampell advises check on what benefits you're receiving from the federal government, whether it's food stamps or your child's preschool. Find out if those benefits will be disrupted. And she says, contact your representative in Congress and urge them to work as hard as possible to reach a funding deal. Wolf, those members are going to be under a lot of pressure in the next week.
Yeah. Like to say, call on Yasharahla, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the bonus of the Apostle and Ellsbury Millstone, peace citation, and hope for elect, Shalom. And I may title this lesson, the U.S. government is headed for a possible shutdown. Man, oh man. It's very amusing seeing how these people in America, these simple-minded fools, just have their high hopes in this place. And they're just obliviously, with all the miseries that's happening to this place, these people are still blind to think that there's still hope in this place. It's amazing how the Most High really has some strong demons out there to deceive these people. Because America's on its last leg, as you can see. And all that's left to do is for the Lord to really cause Esau to push, for the MOTB. And to try to push for his NWO as well. But without further ado, I'd like to bring out a couple scriptures, some precepts, and Lord willing, make this lesson edifying. Let's start off with 2 Ezra chapter 8, verse 50. For many great misery shall be done to them that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked in great pride. You know, and this is a country where people are the most prideful. Pushing LGBTQ, going as far as scoffing against the ministry, scoffing against the men of the Lord. These people don't have a clue what's going to happen to them in the future. And this is just only the beginning of sorrows. How much more when the Most High really brings the heat. And let me bring out the book of Isaiah chapter 30 and go to verse 1. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion." Right. And skipping down to verse 5 says, "They were all ashamed of a people that could not profit them, nor be in help nor profit, but a shame and also reproach." And then you got Biden talking about a few years ago, I believe it was around 2020, during the whole C-19 pandemic, that he mentioned about a dark winter. And you see, and we're at this time where the government could possibly head into another shutdown. And this is already like the fall. And fall is like one season away from the winter. So they mentioned about Congress not passing a certain bill, then it could eventually lead to a government shutdown. And that's going to be very stressful for amongst people that have a lot of children and that have a lot of benefits. So that's going to be some trouble sometimes for especially women with a lot of kids. And even in the video, they mentioned about a lot of federal workers being affected, and people in the military, and people that receive assistance. And one of the news articles mentioned about how the FDA and other, water inspection companies is not going to go as far as inspecting contaminated water, and how food inspection companies is not going to go as far as inspecting contaminated food. So this is some beautiful time to see that people on this earth is finna get judged sooner. And the more this devil Esau tries to come with a solution, it's like you just hurting the U.S. economy even more. So at the end of the day, it's really done for this place. And that's why it says in Isaiah chapter 30 verse 7, "For the Egyptians shall help in vain, and to no purpose. Therefore have I cried concerning this. Their strength is to sit still." Exactly, because these people can't help you. Yet you got the dumbest amongst Jakes that go as far as taking these little crumbs that are just basically gifts that destroy your heart, as the scripture says. And they're so entertained with folly, like pretty much bread and circus, that they're not even putting two and two together to see that what this devil Esau is really planning with the government shutdown. And they're over here talking about a possible lockdown again with the C19 with a different variant or so. And they claim with the second lockdown they're gonna come down harder. And this could all be centered in the winter. You gotta understand, this devil Esau, he knows the scriptures, man. He talking about a dark winter, and the scriptures say that pray that thy flight be not in the winter. So and Isaiah chapter 32 verse 6 says, "For the vile person will speak villainy, and his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy, and to utter error against the Lord, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail." Says verse 7, "The instruments also of the troll are evil. He deviseth wickedness, wicked devices to destroy the poor with lying words, even when the needy speaketh right." And that's basically what Esau does. And yet these stupid people are still going to trust him. These people are blinded, and they don't have a clue on what's going to happen in the future. That's why scriptures say that how we are not ignorant of Satan's devices, and that's talking about brothers who are woken to the truth, we're not ignorant of what this devil is really planning to do in the future. There's always some twisted agenda behind some lockdown or the government shutdown that he's planning on doing, behind the bills that he passes. Scriptures say that, Esau really takes crafty counsel, and that he hides his works in the dark. So we know this devil is really scheming and plotting upon not only the nation of Israel, which are you so-called Pakistani Native Americans, but he's really plotting on even his own people too. And basically he's doing it to everybody, because he looks at everyone as like their cattle, even his own people. The only thing these banking families really care about is their damn family members. They don't really care about the whole nation of their people. They're just concerned with pushing the NWO and going as far as trying to get everyone MOTB'd. And this is what I really wanted to get out. And it says in Isaiah chapter 32 verse 9, "Rise up, ye women that are at ease, hear my voice, ye careless daughters, give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Tremble, ye women that are at ease, be troubled, ye careless ones, strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine." And we're definitely coming into that time, man. With these government shutdowns, you know who really gets in trouble? You know who really is suffering in those times? Mainly women, especially women that claim that they don't need a man, that claim they're independent, chasing ass career women. Women who have so much pride. That's why the Most High is using Esau to go as far as showing you his horns. Because at the same time as he uplifted you woman, he's going to go as far as bringing you woman down, showing you why you shouldn't trust him. Because he really don't give a damn about the whole nation of Israel. He just goes as far as giving you woman liberty to just keep you against the Israelite man. That's all that Esau does. Because he doesn't want to keep people in unity. He wants to keep people separated. And a lot of you stupid women that have been beguiled by the serpent, you're going to really see in that time when Esau divorces your ass. You're going to see how much the devil really cares about you. Because when a strong government starts to become weak, when it starts to fail, and that's where women start to humble down. And that's when they start realizing that they ain't as prideful and as strong and independent as they thought they were. And this is what the Lord said in 2 Ezra 15. Because you best believe he's bringing that black horse, and he's going to bring that pale horse too on top of it. And it says in 2 Ezra chapter 15 verse 5, "Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. For wickedness have exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled. Therefore, saith the Lord, I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit, neither will I suffer them in those things, in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood crieth unto me, and the souls of the unjust, the souls of the just complain continually." And who's the souls of the just? The ones that's in this truth, teaching, sighing and crying for all abominations, like it tells you in Ezekiel the 9th chapter. So that man in that news outlet, I think it was CNN, talking about how people could prepare for a possible government shutdown, you're a damn fool. Because there's no way you could actually prepare for certain calamities that's going to happen. I mean, the Lord is barely getting started yet when it's coming to how he's judging this place. But these people, man, they're just really hopeless if they don't have Yahweh Hashem Yashar with them. And it says verse 9, "And therefore saith the Lord, I will surely avenge them and receive unto me all the innocent blood from among them. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt, but I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm, and smite Egypt with plagues as before, and will destroy all the land thereof." And that Egypt is talking about America, which is aka Babylon the Great. Because it tells you in Revelation about the place that's spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. That's basically talking about America. And verse 12 says, Egypt shall mourn, and the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. They that till the ground shall mourn, for their seed shall fail through the blasting and hail, with a fearful constellation. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. Right. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. And that's basically talking about sedition amongst men, which they're even said in the video how even police officers will go as far as not getting paid. And what you think that law enforcers are going to go as far as working for free, and these other federal workers as well? There's going to be strikes amongst them. They're not going to be working for free, and if they're getting delayed checks, people live paycheck to paycheck. And there's a saying that goes how the middle class is always a paycheck away from being broke. So you pretty much are going to see just a lot more uproars from the people, and they're already talking about defunding the police. You know, a few years ago they also mentioned about people needing new passports will eventually be on hold. So we really seeing the prophecies fulfilling. Scriptures talk about a man shall desire to go to the city and shall not be able to. These things are just happening gradually. So it says in verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So when you see law enforcers, like less of them working, you're going to see more crime happening in those times. You already see a lot of crime happening even when society is still normal. How much more when people really just don't give a fuck no more, and they just decide to go as far as committing crime because of not that much police officers working, since they're not getting paid. In 2 Ezra chapter 9 verse 2 says, then thou shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, you're eventually going to see a lot more people out there rioting and protesting against the government shutdown. I wouldn't be surprised if those things happen. And then this will be the last precept before I'll close. It says, woe be unto thee, Babylon, in this 2 Ezra chapter 16 verse 1. Woe be unto thee, Babylon, and Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? So the Lord is definitely going to be sending a lot of destruction to this earth. And the funny thing is, for certain calamities, he's using Esau to cause it. You know, mainly these banking families. Because you best believe they want to see some chaos out here before they try to bring in the NWO. Because there's a thing in the world called Order ab Chaos, which is basically order from chaos. And Order ab Chaos is basically a Latin phrase. And that's where they're going to enforce their martial law. And 2 Ezra 16 verse 16 says, like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer returneth not backward, even so the plagues that shall be sent upon earth shall not return again. And verse 18 says, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in the fear, the beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? That's basically what Ezra is saying. And verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges. Right, because the Lord may have it to where these things will happen, and then he may take it easy, and then these people still gonna go back to their wickedness. So they're not going to truly understand the purpose of these catastrophes is to humble them. So they're going to go as far as just doing whatever pleases their flesh, which is completely wicked. But yeah, and let them bring this government shutdown, because the faster this place goes down is the faster our kingdom gets ushered in. So who gives a damn about this damn place anyway? This country's not even on its last leg, it's on its last knee. So, but with that, hope we make lesson edifying. Let's give all glory, praise, and honor to Adonai Yahweh, Bashem Shamalak Yashar, Bashem Kakadash, the honor of Apostle Elsewhere Millstone, peace, citation, hope for elect, Shalom.